Captain Calavera?
Puerto Zapato, sailor. We're here at last. Beautiful port, isn't she?
Yes, sir. There's some customs officials down below, sir. They want to search the ship.
Fine, fine. We've got nothing to hide, eh? No skeletons in our closet.
Yes, sir.
Secure the bow, boys, like a rock this time.
Manuel,
Salvador?
I hope this very urgent message gets to you in time. Our man in Zapato says Miss Colomar never made it to the port. It said she threw herself overboard at the Pearl. I don't know if you believe that. Whatever you do not land in Puerto Zapato. It's a trap. Assassins will attempt to board your ship disguised as customs agents. Beware, and viva la revolución!
We stole a lot of the really good things out of Scum and kept them. We kept the idea of the chore tool, which I just called chortle, but they had cyst and bile and all these bodily humor flavored tools from Scum, cyst, bile, phlegm, mucus, and we kept. But there are analogs, like the chore tool is the really big one, but it's the analog to what they did in Cyst, which was the costume editor for all the other adventure games. Mm-hmm. And we kept those paradigms. You know, they manipulate 3D elements and 2D elements and movies and things together on one timeline, but that really is harkening back to exactly what they were doing in the 2D games. So
Lucas is remembered for the great art and the funny writing and all of that, but it's all built on just
tech.
Amazing tech.
I think I'll leave them tied until I find out what's going on. Hello, crew! They know I hate it when they ignore me. Ensign!
Oh no, all the sprouted sailors. But what happens to their souls when they're sprouted?
I was wondering that myself.
I think the idea was they take the flowers and bring them back to the land of the living. They like it's recycled.
Ah, they
never really thought
they
through.
get reincarnated, which is sort of what you don't want to do here.
I'm sorry I led you into trouble, sailor. Oh, no. This can't be happening. Hey! He's back here!
Sack him! Custom officials, open this door!
Yeah, we want to check your bags.
Don't worry, Captain. We're safe in here. Okay, let's just set the explosives and get the hell out of here.
That's the starboard anchor control. Looks like the anchor's down.
One weird trivia fact about the world that I learned. I saw a couple of Manny Calavera tattoos when I was at PAX, and someone asked me, why are there no Glottis tattoos? And I started Googling, and I couldn't find a single Glottis tattoo on the internet. I found many Manny tattoos. And so, I don't know why Glottis... I'll just say that on the internet tomorrow.
That there
Hopefully
need to be more
yeah.
Glottis tattoos. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Can't reach. That's the starboard. I think the best way to use this engine would be the controls over there, as opposed to the hands-on method. Híjole, Glottis sure did a number on that old diesel. If it were just a little more powerful, we could probably tear on out of here.
I tried. Oh, I tried. But I failed. It's not powerful enough.
Hey, maintain, sailor. Glottis, do something.
Okay.
There's thinking back to the way that we all worked together at LucasArts, you know, the way the different departments collaborated. You know, it was, everybody just assumed that we were all rooting for each other and on the same team, and there was almost no sense of kind of trial period, nowadays, and for a long time now in the video game industry, a lot of times when you are in a service capacity, such as sound or audio, music, there's really a vetting period where what you're presenting is being vetted by the directors and the producers, and you need to hear back, what did they think? Are they want to continue to work with us and that kind of thing? And that's fine. That's the way the film industry is, and that's the way things are. But back then, especially at LucasArts, it was not at all like that. Everyone just wanted to be working together. It was all one team. Everyone was facing in the same collaborative direction, and achieving fun results. And I think that creates an atmosphere in which people feel comfortable creating and taking risks. So it paid off, I think.
Looks like the anchor's down. That's the port anchor control. Can't reach. They're locked together like plastic monkeys from a barrel.
Oh, I wanted to also talk about, I think this was this may have been the first game, it may not have, but at LucasArts that I can remember, where you walk the character around and procedurally Manny's head is turning towards points of interest.
Yeah.
Procedurally.
It was the first head tracking, right?
With a computer.
LucasArts? Oh, definitely at LucasArts it was, for sure. I think that was because Tim didn't want to have like the UI highlighting stuff, right? Or he wanted to try something new?
Yeah, it was partial hint and partial probably red herring, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like show the player that they're point them in the direction of interesting subjects in the environment.
And I mean, it shows you everything you can interact with, and not everything you can interact with is a solution either, so.
There's no UI in this game, if anyone didn't notice, and that was by design.
Well, there you go. Glottis, cover your ears.
What was that?
The dotted line, buddy. If I mess with these anchors anymore, we might go down with the ship. Glottis, do something.
Okay.
Just a little farther, Glottis.
Manny, choking!
Mira, snap out of it, sailor.
Easy for you to say, you don't have lungs.
Hey, you live without your heart once, so you can live without air for a little while, just until I figure out what we're gonna do.
The sort of whale sounds in the music are overblowing on the contrabass clarinet.
Yeah.
Ralph Carney doing his little. That's the same thing with the birds that jump up at you and surprise you and squawk.
You all right?
I'm a spirit of the land, Manny, not of the sea.
Hang in there, mano. Not blue yet.
Beware, brave captain. Here in the darkest depths of the Sea of Lament dwell the most horrible monsters of all. The fearsome, murky demons of the deep will swallow you whole the instant you leave this pool of light. Heed my warning, or take one step forward and learn for yourself.
All right, I believe you. Just quit it with the creepy spirit of the land voice, huh?
Here comes one now.
Amigo.
So this is like a play on moth navigation. Like they say that moths fly into lights because they're used to using the moon for navigation, and they're not used to electric lights. And so he's used to using the moon for navigation, but he's been distracted by this thing called the Pearl, and it's made him go march in circles all these years.
What are you doing down here?
Trying to get out of the land of the dead, same as everybody else.
Why are you walking instead of taking a ship?
Got sick of waiting around Rubicava for a boat. Figured I'd make better time this way.
Why didn't I think of that? How do you know where you're going?
See the moon over there? I just keep it on my right. That way I know I'm heading in a straight line.
But...
Oldest trick in the book.
Is everything okay with your eyebrows?
Them is barnacles, genius. I don't move fast enough to shake them, so they tend to pile up. I don't mind, though. They're the only company I got. Ain't you, boys?
How long have you been down here?
Well, let me put it this way. I wasn't always this color.
Shouldn't you have hit dry land by now?
I'm trying to cross a big ocean here, Sonny. What do you know about it?
I've already done it. In a boat.
A boat? Don't talk to me about boats.
What's the problem with boats?
We had such a nice boat. Why is everybody always talking about boats? You got a perfectly good pair of legs. Why not use them, I say?
Let me guess. You died in a boat wreck.
A boat wreck would have been better than what happened to us. Led off course by bad equipment, lost for weeks, no food, no shelter from the sun. We'd started throwing the dead overboard. But then the sharks began following the boat.
What happened in the end?
What happened was, I learned 3 valuable lessons. Stay away from boats. When it comes to navigation, trust only the moon and the stars. And when there's only 2 of you left, never, ever go to sleep.
Where'd you get the coral?
Edge of the world, boy. That's the only place it grows.
How have you kept that light going all these years?
Well, I found this coral, this glow-in-the-dark coral. Damnedest thing. Glows like a lightning bug and never seems to wear out.
I had some of that once. Made a nice grappling hook.
I don't think you had what I got, because I don't think you've been to the place where I got it.
We've had a little accident. Think you could help us out?
Depends on what kind of help you're looking for.
Could we borrow that light for a second?
Sorry, I'm kind of attached to it.
Could you send for help?
Oh, sure. I promise to call for help at the next phone booth I walk by.
Could you take us to the pearl?
Ha! You don't believe those old stories, do you? You think somewhere in this ocean there's a gigantic pearl that shines so brightly it can be seen from passing ships? And that sometimes sailors so allured by its luster actually fling themselves overboard to dive for it and are never heard from again?
Yeah, and I think it's right over...
Bah! I've been walking this ocean for years. I ain't never seen it.
No, really. The pearl is right over there.
You poor sucker, that's the moon! Tell me you didn't come all this way out here to pearl dive the moon.
Well, I don't want to break your stride there.
Okay, see you around.
Watch out for sea monsters.
Who? These guys? Oh, they don't mess with old Chepito. I'm too bright for them. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it...
You all right?
Not of the sea. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hey, lay off. What am I supposed to do with this?
Follow me.
Where are you taking me?
To the moon.
Manny, is that... the pearl? Ooh-wee! I knew I'd find her someday! I'm rich, 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 rich!
Shh, something's happening.
Manny, what's going on?
I don't know, but I don't like the way that thing's looking at us.
You know, Tim's really into black velvet.
Yeah.
And when I showed up my first day of work, there was a black velvet kind of canvas. I don't know what it was. It was like this kind of like you'd win it at the fair kind of thing. And it was like the Grim Reaper on a motorcycle with Mount Fuji in the background with these eagles flying out of it. And it was just pinned to the wall above my desk on the project. And for the entire project, we really didn't talk much about it. It was just kind of there. And then when I moved on to the next project after it, I left my desk exactly the way I had found it, with the thing pinned up to the wall and the whole thing. And then Tim came and gave it to me. I still have it in my office right now. But he was like, that's the mural that binds together Full Throttle and Grim Fandango, because it's the Grim Reaper on a motorcycle.
Hey, I've got more important things on my mind than jewel theory.
Not me!
That octopus is tracking us. I had no idea their eyesight was so good. I'm not going down there while that monster's looking right at me. Glottis, go down there and talk demon talk to that octopus.
Heck no! I'm scared. I'm staying up here with you.
Still not blue. Does he have secret gills? I'm not going down there while that monster's... Hey, Chepito, go for a swim, will you? You're drawing too much attention to us.
Too bad. I'm sticking to you like the barnacles on my eyebrows, so don't even think of sneaking off with my pearl.
I'll bet that light is what's attracting the octopus. Man, we just can't shake this guy. Man, we just can't... Hey, Chepito, go for a swim. You're drawing too...
I'm sticking...
Hey, I've got more important things.
Not me!
Watch those hands, clams. I think we found our transportation. I can't get anywhere near the sub while that monster's guarding it. Ugh.
Fandango! Hey, where are you going? You can't leave me here all alone! Come back here!
She's coming back.
Looks like we're heading south! But there's nothing on that edge of the world! Except the edge!
Manny? Don't ask, carnal, cause I don't know. Getting a little blue around the edges.
And this is the part of the game I feel like is a lot more inspired by actually City of Lost Children.
Children, yeah, right.
That came out around that time, had a big influence on us. I think that's why we have a marching underwater diver too. Like there's a lot of scenes in City of Lost Children where there's a diver just marching on the floor of the ocean. It just seems so dramatic and just made this slow and steady slow and steady progress, but he was so heavy and thick.
No flying fleas, though.
No flying fleas.
Getting a little blue. See any hint of that octopus swimming around here?
No, but I can smell them!
This is where people nowadays would be like, Tim, the ideas you have here about this conveyor belt where you can switch directions and rip a chain with a scoop, it's really complicated. And we could eliminate a lot of work if we just cut this one puzzle. But this is like, no, we went all the way and we fully implemented exactly what I hoped would happen. The conveyor belt would reverse direction, chain would go up and down, Manny would climb down and against the force of water, bunch up the chain. This is all so complicated. Oh, and you create a little loop. I was like, this all makes sense in my mind, so the player will be able to figure this out. Like the way that you looped it over that boat. I don't even know if that would work. That's like when you whip a hose to like get it uncaught when you're watering the plants in the backyard and your hose gets caught.
Right, yeah. Yeah, do a little whiplash effect, yeah.
I can't get out of here. There's no ladder.
So this whole environment, I think, was worked on around the end of the game, and we had to bring a few other artists on at the end in order to get it all done.
Yeah. No, and then I kind of remember that towards the end, because it was just like a skeleton crew, because I think just the budget had gotten so big that I just remember Pete and a few other people working on it for a couple months or something.
Yeah.
While all of us had to move on to other projects.
All that water is running in the Rebel Salt engine. The game is running in the Jedi Knight engine, in the
oh, that's right.
all the streamed videos from the Rebel Assault engine.
That is right.
So we're compositing the Rebel Assault technology on top of Jedi Knight technology, and then all the Lua scripting for the gameplays. Is that what comprised the Grime engine, which we never actually called the Grime engine at the time, but Brett wanted to call it the Grime engine. It was like
that's
Grim.
funny.
And in later, he's been able to do enough interviews where he's called it the Grime engine that people just call it the Grime engine. Now that's fine. It should have a name.
Everything should.
The animation team was very green, and we're lucky to work under people like Pete and some other senior folks on the team, like Eric Ingerson and Mark Hamer. We came out of school learning traditionally 2D animation and probably had about a month or two of work on Monkey Island 3, I think, which was still semi-traditional. And then this was our first kind of interaction with 3D and computers, and we struggled and watched Eric do the most complex things you could imagine.
It was all very new, and I think we had a couple of consulting sessions. This was back when we were still kind of connected to ILM, and so we had Kyle Balda, was a LucasArts alum and at the time worked at ILM. He came over and gave us some 3D pointers at a couple of points. We had some special private sessions.
I'd be ground to bit. Those things are dangerous. I'd be ground to bits.
Those look like my sister's curling irons.
I was just gonna say those things always scared me. They are truly terrifying.
The
Those
curling irons?
grinder. No, the
grinders.
The grinders. The curling irons, to a lesser degree.
Those are based on my sister's curling iron. No, you don't call them curling irons. Curlers. Based on my sister's curlers.
Right.
And my terrible fear of curlers.
They're fearsome things.
One of the things that was another technical problem that was really interesting was the save load, because I wanted to cut a bunch of corners on save load to just make it a little easier to implement. And we had talked about things like you could only save and load, or when you load, it would load at the beginning of a room and back up content a little bit, or just do it where it was a little bit more convenient. And Tim really wanted a really high fidelity save load, and I remember trying to talk him out of it, and he threw the gauntlet down, and he was like, if Manny's in the middle of a line and there's a puff of smoke hanging in the air, and I hit save, when he restores, he should pick up from the middle of that line where he was at, and that puff of smoke should be in the air. And I was like, all right, man, if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. And it was a big pain. It took a lot of work to get it there. But that's the way the game shipped, and that's kind of, with controls and things like that. Tim was pretty uncompromising and had a vision of what he wanted this thing to be. And you know, as much as we were able, we gave him what he wanted.
Glottis, I'm gonna sneak inside and look for Meche.
What if that octopus comes back while you're gone?
Poke him in the eye and steal his sub.
Stupid octopus.
Tim had the coolest office.
He did.
It was filled with like tiki lights, and it felt like it was like Christmas land. Not Christmassy, but it gave you that same feeling of decoration and hominess.
Yeah. I was going to say warmth, hominess. There was a couch in there, which was always nice.
Yep. And I think I probably overstayed my welcome in there a few times.
Yeah.
I think we all probably did.
You never knew when you should leave, because it was so much fun in there, but then it's like, oh man, he has work to do.
Yeah, it's no wonder he had to work through the night. It's because
we'd bother him all the time.
His office was like going to Disneyland, and you just sit in there and talk on the couch and just want to be a part of this this creation.
I had some old game consoles in there, and I would go and talk classic games with him because he knew that I was an enthusiast as well. So that was fun. I think he should have made his office more boring.
He did spend a lot of time in that office.
How's his office now?
I've seen pictures. I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's like a grown-up version of that office, maybe. He's still got all his Rubik's Cubes on his desk.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I forgot he was a master of the Rubik's Cube.
He is. Really?
Yes.
Don't challenge him. Well, I would never.
This door's locked. Man, that ashtray's so fancy you could eat caviar out of it. That ashtray so it's empty. It's empty.
Yeah, so people, you know, a lot of people may know this already, but for those that don't, the game is just a big pre-rendered picture. There's no 3D geometry in the game that describes the walls and the doors and the tables and all of the props that are in the game. That's just a picture, a painting that's drawn in the background. So somebody had to go in manually and kind of make what we call walk boxes, but they're in 3D space. They're like a little model that just describes in 3D space where Manny's allowed to walk. And if you turn the background off, they just look like they're floating in space. There's nothing there. And there's boxes for walking. There's boxes for shadows. There's boxes for triggers that trigger like footstep sounds and things like that. But yeah, the image you see on the screen when you're playing the game, there is no real geometry there. So getting the illusion that Manny can walk in between tables and bounce off of walls and things like that is all smoke and mirrors.
It's locked. Children's books. Meche.
Manny, what are you doing here?
I wanted to see how your trip was going, Angel. I am your travel agent, you know. By the way, thanks for that bottle of champagne you sent me. It really hit the spot.
You were headed for a trap. I was trying to warn you. Domino was using me like bait. I didn't want you to end up a prisoner here like me.
Prisoner? Where's your cell? Or are you just sharing a bunk with the warden?
If that's what you think of me, then why did you come here?
Because this is where he belongs. Here, working for me. I knew you'd come around eventually. Right or wrong, Manuel Calavera is always with the winning team, right, Manny? That's why you're here now.
I'm getting off this rock, and I'm taking all of these people with me.
Manny, there's no way off this island. I'm afraid you're stuck here in my little executive training program. See, I need you to take my place here, kid. I've got to get back to the city where the action is.
Sorry, Manny, but I had to come in. My skin was getting all pruny.
Him, I don't need.
Careful, BB. The new boss is waking up.
I always thought those girls are so cute. I just had to be mean to them. Like once when my sister got her tonsils taken out, and she had big puffy cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my aunt came to visit, and she goes, "Oh, you look so cute. I just want to be mean to you." And I never really understood it until we had these little baby angels in the game. I just want to just terrorize them so you can get out your scythe and scare them and do all these horrible things.
It's the Mr. Bill
sick.
and it's the Mr. Hands in all of us.
No drawers. I like my old desk better. This is sad.
Angelitos is actually the little children in the cage. Comes from a term that it was a popular kind of well, it was traditional in Mexico to take pictures of your children, even if they were died very young.
Yes, yes.
Like photography of little dead
it's a
children
whole
in a coffin.
genre. Yeah, it's.
I don't know if that
really-
happened in the States, but it was definitely in Mexico.
Mexico, yeah, I've seen those. I think you showed them to me actually.
And the word they use for children when they're young when they die is angelitos.
Oh yeah.
It's a dark game.
It is dark.
Hola, angelitos.
I'll bite you, I swear to God!
Please don't bite anyone else, Pugsy. That's why they put us in the cage in the first place.
Why do you want to bite me?
You're the mean new boss.
Mr. Hurley said you were meaner than him.
He said you had a bone saw.
What are you two doing in this cage?
Making light bulbs.
Look, we're working as hard as we can. Why don't you leave us alone?
My name is Manny Calavera. What's yours?
Mr. Hurley told us about you. You're the one who tricked Meche.
Poor Meche.
I didn't trick anybody.
Mr. Hurley said he was supposed to take care of Meche, but you stole her case from him.
Is that true?
Let me see if I can explain this whole thing to you. You see, I had this job, selling travel packages to immigrant souls. If I sold enough of them, I got to leave the land of the dead. Now, I was in a slump, and I really needed a fat commission, so...
You're a bad man.
Go away, bad man!
Yeah, go away!
Meche's my friend. You can ask her.
She talked about you before.
Every time she says your name, she looks so sad.
I don't know what you did to her, but you're gonna be sorry!
Listen, children, I'm here to help.
There's really not much more room in here.
Your hands are too big to make light bulbs.
My hands are not too big to make light bulbs.
Then why don't you help?
My butt's too big to sit on one of those little perches.
I'm gonna tell Meche you said that word to us.
I told you he was bad.
I just don't have any of those little tiny tools, that's all.
Here, take my hammer.
bad little children. I'm glad you're in a cage. Very bad. You know, I really do want to help.
Then why don't you?
I'm in the Maritime Union. We can't do factory work.
I don't know what those words mean. It means he doesn't want to help us because he's mean.
On second thought, maybe I don't.
We don't want to either, but we don't have a choice.
You bite me and I'll sue your parents.
Our parents?
Nice cage you have here.
Mr. Hurley grew demon ravens with human heads in here.
He said if we ever tried to get away, he'd send the ravens after us.
And let them make nests out of our bones.
I'm the one who's gonna take Meche out of here.
What? You can't do that.
Who's gonna take care of us? We'll be all alone.
Hey, don't cry, children. Please, stop crying. Why am I so bad at I'm here to help you get out of this cage.
You can't do that. We have to stay here and take care of Meche.
She'd be so sad here all alone. Sometimes we hear her crying, you know.
You children just wait here and be brave little angelitos, okay?
Okay.
Really, really sad.
Are the 3 stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
No, it's just a lazy design element to match the front of his head.
Oh, and the tops of his hands, remember? There's little stripes
Just
on there.
the
too.
Day of the Dead decorations, right?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was. I just thought it was cool.
It's an Adidas homage.
Oh, look, it's my Prince Charming. Are you back here just to insult me some more, or do you just want some ice for your head?
Man, that ashtray's so fancy you could eat caviar out of it.
Once you got used to the sooty aftertaste, you'd feel like a king.
See, I like that you still are not quite sure about Meche.
That happens a lot in those noir movies.
Totally.
It's
it's like just like
the woman is like, wait, is
Casablanca.
she in leagues with the bad guy, or is she being controlled and being blackmailed by the bad guy?
Yes. A testament to the fact that they're written by men.
Nervous laughter.
I think we need to talk.
Start talking. You're the salesman.
I have a lot of explaining to do.
Save your breath. Domino's explained it all to me already.
You have a lot of explaining to do.
Me? About what?
Why did you take me out with that champagne bottle?
I told you to stop you from falling into Domino's trap. If you had made it on that ship, then you would have ended up...
Here?
Yes.
So why did you run out of my office?
I felt so embarrassed, and you looked so disappointed in me. I couldn't stand it anymore.
Why are those children locked up in a cage?
With the wings those angelitos have, they're the only things on this island Domino can't control.
Then what were you doing that whole year I was in Rubacava?
I was lost.
What did you...
I don't want to talk about that year, please.
Why are you working for Domino?
I do what he asks only to protect the children.
Hey, if they can fly, let's set the kids free to go get help.
They can't fly that far, Manny. But they can fly circles around Domino, and they can bite pretty hard.
Has Domino hurt you in any way?
Not as much as I've hurt him. Boy, can that guy take a punch.
Okay, I'll lay off the questions.
Great. Now if we could get you to just lay off the cologne.
Hey, I'm a sailor now. We have to wear this stuff. Come on, we're getting out of here.
Trying to steal my commission from Domino again. Manny, don't you ever give up?
I'm not after any commission. I just want to get us both out of here.
Then why don't you just ask your boss for the day off?
Can't believe you think he's my boss. He's my arch enemy.
I think he's your boss. You think he's my boyfriend. We don't seem to have a good foundation of trust in our relationship, do we?
I'm sorry I implied he was your boyfriend. I do trust you.
Well, I'm not sure I trust you about that. But I'll tell you one thing that would convince me.
Name it.
Give me your gun.
What? What makes you think I have a gun?
You work for the most heavily armed organization in the land of the dead. Don't try to tell me they didn't issue you a gun.
I don't work for the most heavily armed organization anywhere.
You know, you're right. There are those rumors of that Revolutionary Army that's been stockpiling weapons.
Actually, them, I work for.
Manny, why don't you come back when you're willing to deal straight with me, okay?
Hey, about that gun.
Ready to hand over your heater?
I would if I had one.
Right.
They didn't issue me a gun.
What, are you on probation? I'm not buying this, Manuel. Manny, why don't you come back when you're willing to deal straight with me, okay?
Hey, about that.
Ready to hand over?
I would.
Right.
Listen, Meche.
They're ruined! And this was my best pair! You try to have one nice thing on this cruel island.
I love the pulling the stocking down and the of the leg bone being sexy. That's
our one
awesome.
cover image.
Yeah.
It was on a magazine, PC Games magazine.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But what is that from? This is definitely a reference to Popeye.
And also, Go Ahead and Scratch, right?
Let's Go Ahead and Scratch.
And it's when Humphrey Bogart in Maltese Falcon, Big Sleep, Humphrey Bogart is meeting. Lauren Bacall comes into his office and she sits on his desk and she crosses her legs and she's scratching her knee and the camera is showing you this from a interesting angle, right? And then she sees that he's looking at her scratching her knee, and she covers her knee with her dress. He says, "Go ahead and scratch." Right?
Scratch. I was thinking more of Popeye. Olive Oil falls into cement, and she steps out of cement, and everyone's whistling at her because she has shapely legs. And the cement falls away, and she has olive oil legs.
Oh, I forgot that.
That's what I always think of when I think of the scene.
There it is.
Good enough for me.
What is?
The speed at which you're working.
That's nice, Manny, but you're not my boss, so really I couldn't care less.
Good. Excellent. Carry on. You know, a little clear nail polish would fix these right up. That gesture might confuse her. Man, that ashtray's so fancy you could eat caviar out of it.
Once you got used to the sooty
You know, a little clear nail polish would... I would never wear these. They have a hole in them.
Sir, do you have an appointment?
I'm going in there to tell Domino my demands.
I don't think you fully understand the chain of command around here. Pugsy and BB work for you. You and I work for Domino, who works for Hector LeMans, crime boss of El Maro.
Well, I think it's time for a little corporate restructuring.
You can't hear what he's listening. What is Domino listening to on his headphones in your mind?
Oh, it's not just what is. We
can actually
actually
hear,
have
like,
him
a little-
listening. He's listening to his own theme,
Bark.
and it's done as a headphone. We didn't mixed it so it would sound like headphones. It's very quiet, but he's listening to his own music.
Domino! Domino!
Taking your first coffee break already, Calavera?
We got a score to settle, Issy.
You know, if I ever spoke to my boss Hector that way.
What are you doing out here on the edge of the world?
Oh, I know. I ask myself that every day. But I'm going to train you, Manny, to take my place here running this 2-bit light bulb factory.
I was going to say about the music where he reveals the whole big conspiracy theory. That was a jam between the cello player and the contrabass clarinet player.
Oh yeah.
Basically, the idea was that since it's a whole complicated conspiracy, that they would just jam and jam forever on the same theme, kind of weaving it out.
You killed my best friend.
The demon? Manny, you can use a demon as a driver. Let him carry your messages, let him serve you food. But you can't ever start thinking of them as friends. It's just not natural.
How can you keep little children in a cage?
Trust me, it's easier than keeping big kids in a cage.
You and Hector set up a secret hideout to make light bulbs?
Oh, no, that's just a side benefit. The real purpose is to have a place we can lock up all those old clients of mine. Can't have good people wandering loose in the land of the dead, telling everybody how we stole their double-in tickets, now can we?
You stole all these people's tickets?
Okay, how much of this haven't you figured out, Calavera? Capal would route all the good clients to me after he switched over their tickets to a secret holding fund. I'd cover up the paper trail, and we'd make sure that the pigeon jumped overboard at the Pearl.
I knew it. You were getting all the good clients.
I handled them all, except for Mercedes, who you hijacked from me in that ridiculous hot rod, which I saw, by the way, last time I was in Rubacava. I tell you, Manny, hot rods like that just don't look safe to me.
So it wasn't my fault Meche didn't get a ticket. You stole it.
Well, it's your fault she ended up in the forest instead of coming here right away, but I fixed that.
One ticket for you, one for Hector. How many more do you need?
Oh, Manny, we never touch the product ourselves. We sell a ticket to unfortunate souls, unable to lead moral lives because of the crippling amount of cash they were born into.
But you could just take the tickets and leave today.
We found a way to make the land of the dead livable. Why would we want to leave?
Why don't you just sprout me like you tried at Puerto Zapato?
That wasn't me. That was Hector. He's so unimaginative. Just wants to tie up the loose ends, you know? But I believe, however, that you can be rehabilitated through honest work.
What makes you think I'm gonna work for you?
Well, there's not much to do on this island if you don't work, take it from me. And think about it. Once I'm gone, it will be just you and Meche alone on this deserted island. Don't tell me that prospect doesn't appeal to you.
I don't plan to be on this island for very long.
Manny, I have all the guns. I have all the transportation, and I have all the brains. What are you gonna do?
Nice island you got here.
Yeah, the previous owners didn't know what they had here. Let us pick it up for a song. They scooped out all the coral they could reach with their crane and then abandoned the plant. But we knew we had what it would take to go the extra distance to the big reef.
Are you about to lecture me about the winning attitude again?
No! Slave labor, Manny. That's the real ticket to success.
I'm taking Meche out of this dungeon.
Manny, before I found her, she spent a year out there in the petrified forest alone because of you. By comparison, I'd say I'm keeping her pretty comfortable here in my dungeon. Wouldn't you say?
Well, I gotta get back to trying to escape.
Hey, you do that, kid. Knock yourself out.
Nothing but dark waters that direction. Nothing but dark waters that direction.
One of the things with Manny's head and the lookout stuff was it really meant that you couldn't put a lot of inventory items very close to each other or limited the number of things in a room, because even though you could toggle through and he would look at things kind of in sequence, it could get tricky on if you put like 3 things on a table. Is he looking at thing number 1, thing number 2, or thing number 3? So that was an interesting thing, because Lucas was known for his adventure games with very dense, lots of things to click on in the screen, and you really couldn't do that here. But the game doesn't really feel accurate.
I feel like that's filled in with dialogue. I mean, ultimately, you'd have those hunt the pixel games. You'd have a million things, and you'd have to have one line for each thing. And with this one, it's more like there are fewer things, but there's more to say about each one, or more context, or Manny kind of thinking to himself about things. It's a little more ruminating.
I'll show him.
So I think it adds to the character, just in terms of how much you kind of understand Manny or empathize with him.
Lay down your tools! We're busting out of here! Man, if I had only gotten that book back from Terry, I could really start some trouble here. I'll bet all these miners look right here by that. Lay down your tools! We're busting out of here! Man, I'll bet all these miners look right here by that octopus. Well, at least he didn't eat him. Chepito!
Huh?
Who?
Oh, you, is it? Why, I oughta look at my eyebrows.
Reciprocating chisel. This scene is kind of actually right out of the Fountainhead. This really, I think it's Gary. Is it Gary Cooper or someone like that? And he's doing this super manly, like drilling into this wall, and the love interest of it comes over and like is watching him getting all aroused. In a kind of a 1930s kind of way, and she's so mad that she's out riding her horse, and she slaps her riding car up onto her leg to show her frustration. It's this hilarious scene, but for some reason I really like this jackhammer that he's just going into this wall with. And so it's here, and it's very similar erotic content here between Manny and Chepito.
Yeah, it's like I can see the brotherly love.
Nice drill.
Drill? This here is a cordless, high-speed reciprocating chisel. And look, it's a bust-all. They usually don't give these to the new guys.
How'd you get a bust-all?
I'm connected, plugged in, and I had some booty to trade. Trade's the name of the game out here in the Big Reef.
Booty? Where'd you get booty?
It's all over the ocean floor. Jewelry, precious coins. You people and your fancy boats never know about it, 'cause you just never stop and look.
Give me some booty and I'll buy our way out of here.
I traded it all for this beauty.
You traded jewelry and precious coins for a power tool?
It's a bus doll.
That tool looks a little overpowered for you.
Overpowered? Nothing overpowers Chepito.
If you say so. I want to trade something.
Well, you came to the right place, Sonny. What you be needing?
A hug?
Nope. That's the one thing I ain't got for you.
Towel?
Hey, you funny guy, chalkhead.
My friend Glottis to be alive.
What? What happened?
He went over the edge.
Oh, stay away from the edge, I tell you. It's dangerous. I seen whole ships go over it in my time. Their engines in full reverse, trying to drop anchor. But the current, you can't fight her. So stay back.
How about a pair of nice silk stockings?
Ah, now there's a high-ticket item. I might be able to get you some, but I gotta tell you, you couldn't afford it.
A drink?
Ha! We're swimming in the biggest drink there is. Drinks aren't a hot commodity down here, sorry.
A boat?
There you go again with the boats. You know I don't like them. Why do you have to needle me?
A gun?
Ooh, that's gonna cost some. What do you got on you?
I think it's some form of blue-green algae.
Ah, don't worry, you get used to it. When you got something worth trading, come see old Chepito. He'll do you right. Rah! Stupid chisel. What? Rah! Killing coot.
Chepito!
Huh? Who? What?
Relax, we're busting out of here soon.
We are done traveling together. I work solo, my friend, and I walk alone. Well, I got a long day of reef wrecking ahead of me, so...
Please, bust away. Lay down your tools. We're busting out of here. Man, if I had only gotten that book back from Terry, I could really start some trouble here. This is the tiniest little hammer I've ever seen. I could make a tiny little birdhouse if I had some tiny little nails and wood.
Ooh, to the moon, he says. Frickin'. Why, I oughta...
Yo, Pito, have you ever seen an authentic little chipper?
A little chipper? No, I haven't. But I'd sure love to give it a test drive. Say, little chipper, you're okay. La-dee-da-dee-da-da. 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 Ah, sweet Mary. Oh, Virginia. La-dee-dee-dee. Oh, deep. Going to bed. Oh, Virginia. La-dee-dee-dee. Oh, dee-da-da-da-da-dee-da-da.
Hey, Cheppy, check out the hosiery.
silk. Where'd you find them?
I've been wearing them the whole time.
You too? Well then, here's your new best friend.
Ah, my first Sproutella gun. Is it loaded?
No. Hey, bullets are hard to get.
That little hammer's more speed. Ah, my first Sproutella gun.
Sweet Mary.
It's really not much use without bullets. It's a buff doll.
Oh, dee da da da. La dee dee dee.
Nothing but dark waters that direction. Uh-oh.
One thing that was a little weird on animating all this underwater stuff, when you animated a little section like Manny jumping off the conveyor belt or climbing up a chain or getting dragged along by a boat or whatever, you would always try to add that element of the physics of being underwater.
Yeah.
And then seeing the harsh contrast of when you're back in interactive mode and we're still using the same animation of him walking above water. It was hard for an animator to get over that. These little things you can't let go of.
That chain that's holding the ship, at one point we had to add joints to that because I think at one point it's animated and it kept crashing and we couldn't figure out why, and we eventually figured out that you couldn't have more than 99 joints in a rig in Softimage at that point, and it had like 100 joints or something.
No, but again, it's this funny thing when people, maybe see this stuff and they think of movies now that maybe look better, but we were having to deal with a lot of limitations.
I'm actually really, really excited to see the remastered version because, you look at elements of this game that was made over 15 years ago, and visually it still kind of holds up to games that you can see today. So, curious about what it's going to look like after the Double Fine gets finished with it. Yeah. I think it'll be pretty special.
Hey, who's up there?
Glottis! You're okay.
Well, it hurt a little when I hit, but my head cracked open an aft panel here.
I gotta tell you, carnal, I thought you were dead.
Oh, Manny, I've been having a great time. Listen. I ask you, is there an engine that can resist the love that's in these hands?
Apparently not.
I remember being really, see how their hands kind of clip through their sleeves? I remember being really annoyed by that as an animator, having to settle to do it because you couldn't get the poses or the lines you needed without making things kind of collide. It's something we just had to kind of live with.
And something we still live with today.
I think this baby's our ticket out of here.
Oh yeah, good point. I was just wrenching her for fun, but your idea's good too.
That's as close to the edge as I want to be.
I can't even imagine what was going through his head at this point, because just the size of this game, being able to absorb it all before it's realized.
And he always had a really good idea of where we were and what was going on.
Yep.
And we were talking earlier about how there really wasn't a schedule that I remember, an art schedule for this game. It almost seemed like we just all sort of chose tasks, and then we had Leslie sort of following up to make sure we were doing them in about as much time as they should take, or not getting bogged down or stuck.
I can see why they don't give these chisels to the new guys. It's not a handheld device. This scoop looks heavier than my last ship.
One thing that was a little weird, animating all this underwater stuff, when you animated a little section like Manny jumping off the conveyor belt, or climbing up a chain, or getting dragged along by a boat or whatever, you would always try to add that element of the physics of being underwater.
Yeah.
And then seeing the harsh contrast of when you're back in interactive mode, and we're still using the same animation of him walking above water. It was hard for an animator to get over that. These little things you can't let go of.
You would have had to do a whole new set of animals.
Yes. And that, well, the other thing is, like, that may not have been the thing that would have stopped something like that. It could have even been like, there would be too much code required to switch a system or something. Like, who knows what the reason was.
I think this baby's our ticket.
Oh yeah, good. I was just...
a relationship without trust?
True, a relationship without trust is about as empty as a gun without bullets. Guess you didn't realize a smart girl always keeps an extra round in her hat for mad days. Come on, let's go.
Meche, you don't know what you...
I know exactly what I'm doing. Now move!
Would you just listen to my escape plan first?
Trouble in paradise, kids?
You're letting us go right now, or your boy Friday here gets it.
Well, I hate to see you go, Manny, but the lady seems to have made up her mind.
I'm serious. I'll shoot him.
Fine. It really doesn't work for me anyway.
But I thought I'll shoot you then.
No, you won't. You're too good, remember?
I'm not good anymore. You've taken that out of me, keeping me a prisoner here. I'm gonna crack you open like a fake thing vase. I'm gonna...
Kid's all right. She's a firecracker, but a night in the cooler usually dampens her fuse.
Domino, you'd better let me out of here! Help!
Must be a combination lock, but there are no numbers on it.
Hey!
I don't want to mess up the wheel. The wheel's my friend. I don't want to... Must be a combination lock, but there are no numbers on it. Poor Don was never good with numbers.
Anybody! Help!
Ooh, I bet I could pick that. Ooh,
Domino,
I bet I could
you
pick that.
better let me out of here!
If only I hadn't lost my union card in that poker game.
Hey! Pugsy!
Must have hit a major circuit. But it looks like I've exposed the guts here. I don't want to mess up the wheel. The wheel's my friend. Must be a combination lock, but there are no numbers on it. Poor Don was never good with numbers. Must be a combination. Poor... What? Oh, and I had them so nicely lined up and everything. This should open it. What? Oh, when I had them so... I can't move those by hand. I need this wheel. What? Oh, when I can't move those by... I guess I didn't enter the right combination. What? Oh, when I had them so nicely lined up and everything. I guess I didn't enter the...
Are the 3 stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
Ooh, I hate that sound. Ooh, I hate that sound. All right, Meche, you can come out now. Meche?
there was a the elevator in my dorm that you could push open while it was moving. You push the gate open and freeze it in between floors and hang out in the elevator for no reason. But there was a little strip of metal up in the corner that the door would plug into when it was closed to know that it was closed. And we tried to get the elevator moving with the door open by sticking our fingers in this thing trying to trigger the little switch. I totally got electrocuted because it was like a live actual electrical current in there instead of
ouch.
So that's where that comes from. that little door closing thing, yeah.
From ill-advised college activities?
Drunken college dorm elevator near-death pranks.
Raul, I am so sorry. They're all locked up. These must be very, very sensitive coral harvest reports. They're all locked up. These must be very, very sensitive coral harvest reports. Esa cosa is heavy. Looks like I messed up these contacts when I broke through with the bus stall.
Manny, I knew you would. Why is that door closed?
It was the only way the wind?
Oh.
That thing is definitely not my size. Man, people in the old days were huge.
Hey, this is my room. Go use up the air in your own room.
It's funny, the casting of Manny was, it was tough because, obviously you have, I wanted to hire somebody who was legitimately Hispanic and not somebody putting on a fake accent.
Right, oh, for sure.
And normally in a sort of a casting process, you'd sit down with the project leader and you'd probably have 5 to 10 candidates that you'd be looking at, and with Manny we had 2, and Tony was more Humphrey Bogart, and the other actor was more comedic, and I was terrified. It's funny, the casting of Manny was it was tough because obviously you have, I wanted to hire somebody who was legitimately Hispanic and not somebody putting on a fake accent.
Right, oh, for sure.
And normally in a sort of a casting process, you'd sit down with the project leader and you'd probably have 5 to 10 candidates that you'd be looking at, and with Manny we had 2, and Tony was more Humphrey Bogart, and the other actor was more comedic, and I was terrified that Tim was going to go the comedic route because I thought Tony was the guy, and
right.
I remember printing out resumes for the 2 guys, and Tony had a lot more experience. And then there was a really cool picture of Tony taken from Havana where he's sitting up at the bar and he just looked cool.
Yeah.
And I made sure that went in too, and so just to help kind of push it in the direction I wanted it to go.
That's good. It's the perfect voice.
Yeah, he's great.
I couldn't reach that vent, even if I stood on Meche's shoulders.
Wouldn't it make more sense for me to stand on your shoulders anyway?
Are you kidding? Look at your heels. Doesn't look like she's cooled off yet. Thanks for not shooting me.
Look, I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. It's just that the past 2 years have been pretty tough, you know?
That home plumbing sprinkler system looks like it's about to fall apart. I can't reach that high. Warning. Fire system. Do not touch. That home plumbing sprinkler system looks like it's about to fall apart. I can't reach that. That home plumbing's not picking that up. I can't reach that high. I couldn't reach that vent, even if I stood on Meche's shoulders. After you.
What about the suitcases?
What's in these cases?
Take a look. It's all the double-end tickets Hector and Dom have stolen over the years. Each one stolen from a good soul, and now they just sit there.
That's it.
What?
They just sit there. That's what's been bothering me. In the days when I was a hot salesman, I used to see double-end tickets all the time, and they move.
What do you mean they move?
They become agitated around human souls, and the ticket that belongs to you will actually fly into your hand. But these tickets, and the tickets in that suitcase of Charlie's, it's like they're dead. Why would Hector and Domino be hoarding cases of counterfeit double-end tickets? Doesn't matter. They wouldn't fit through this hole anyway. Let's go. Okay, you get the kids, and I'll meet you back here with the boat.
What boat?
Well, I'm working on that.
Okay, Manny.
I have to figure a way to launch that ship Glottis found. What I need is a giant stork to deliver that big baby right here. I swear I'll get us a boat.
Okay, Manny.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen her in the sun before.
please put that away? Thank you. That too. 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 Thank you.
Domino!
Hey, Sport, how's the escape going?
All right, it's time to let Meche out of the safe.
Oh, I usually have to leave her in there overnight for her to really calm down.
You think you can break her will just by locking her up overnight?
No, but the lack of fresh oxygen slows her down just enough so I can open the door free of fear.
Well, I gotta get back to trying to escape.
Hey, you do that, kid. Knock yourself out. That too. Thank you. That too. Thank you. That too. Thank you. That too. Thank you. That too. Thank you.
It's a bus doll. Not right now. Maybe if I had some giant steel hair to curl. I can't believe I killed it. I can't believe I killed it. Our ticket out of here.
Oh yeah, good point. I was just wrenching it for fun, but your idea's good too.
That's as close to the edge as I... That's not gonna be as easy to climb up.
Glottis, I'm so glad to see you.
Aww. Is the boat boat already?
Yeah, come on! Let's go eat some reef!
Works like crazy. Full speed ahead. What? Oh.
So are you really going to bring me back and try to get your old job again?
There's no job for me now except to bring you and everyone else here to the end of the road.
But if you aren't going to use me to get your job back, why did you spend all this time trying to find me?
Meche, I needed to find you.
I gave you one job, Manny. And look at you, already screwing it up. I suppose you realize that this is going to go down on your permanent record.
So, once in a while, if there was a solo part that we could get to be recorded by a real person, we would do that. But I don't know if you remember, we were kind of under a lot of schedule pressure with that.
I do remember some.
And people were like,
one late night or two. There was a late night or two.
And then there was like, you're spending $13,000 on live musicians? Are you crazy? So we were lucky we could do what we could do at all, but.
And look, where are those guys today? I don't even remember their names. And here we are. Here we are talking about Grimm.
Exactly.
Those guys are all dead. I'm sorry. I mean, I hope they're dead. I hope they're happy spending time with their families and no longer working on games. Which I think actually is true.
My scythe. I like the place to where my heart used to be.
Woo! This doesn't look good for the kid.
Look, Dom, I'm not gonna work for you.
Oh, don't worry about that. You're fired. Just consider this your severance. What are you doing away from your desk anyway?
I'm sending this domino back to the bone pile.
Smart strategy, always let your boss win.
You know, your name is Domino, but you're really just a pawn.
Please, save the comic book one-liners for when you're winning. Just like with your selling, Manny, you got a weak attack and no follow-through. Hey, I'll stop anytime you get tired. Just please stay down this time. Please, Manny, stop showing off for the girl.
to make them kiss because they have those.
They don't have lips.
Yeah.
They should have added like a knocking
Oh,
sound.
that would have been funny.
Awesome.
Bones kissing.
Yeah. Making out. Imagine what that sounds like with a bony face.
I don't believe you, Calavera. You're losing a fight, so you pick on one of my pets? Why aren't you more like me, Manny? I've been trying to show you how, but you don't listen. If you just